Okay, at this point, they have to be making this stuff up. Hey everyone, my name is Prince, and in this, the first proper video I'm recording in 2025, we're gonna briefly talk about something absolutely wild that has come to light over the past couple of days. Yesterday, I went on Twitter and saw that God of War was trending. And being a fan of the recent God of War games, I obviously checked it out because I was interested to see if anything new had been announced. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I'm currently streaming my first time playthrough of God of War Ragnarok every Wednesday. And this week's stream is actually going to be me doing the final quest of the main Ragnarok story, where we head to Asgard to kill Odin. So make sure to tune in at 8 PM GMT this Wednesday if you don't want to miss that, and go join the casual Discord in the description down below if you want to be automatically notified whenever I upload a video or go live. But anyway, back to Twitter. So I checked it out, and it turns out something had been announced, but it was definitely not what I was expecting. All of the tweets were basically centered around this tweet in particular, because according to an article from Bloomberg UK, PlayStation have just cancelled 2 live service projects, one of which was by Bluepoint Games, who are the same people that made Shadow of the Colossus and Demon's Souls, which was going to be a live service God of War game. Now, just like I said at the start of the video, at this stage, they have to be making this shit up. And I know I had to make a video talking about this because this is just... This is wild. Now, when I'm discussing things like this, I like to be fair, so I would like to make the point that I do not really have that big of a problem with live service games if they're done well. I myself am an avid player of Fortnite. Like, I think Fortnite is genuinely really good. The problem is that nowadays, only 1 out of 10 live service games actually end up being good. In fact, only 1 out of 10 live service games even end up getting made nowadays. Because more often than not nowadays, when you see live service games appearing in gaming news, it's more often than not them getting cancelled, sometimes before they've even been released. Or in the case of Concord, 2 weeks after. And the problem is that every single company from every single avenue of gaming is trying to sink their claws into the live service genre when most of them don't even know how to make a good live service game. Do I think that a live service God of War game would be 100% bad? Not necessarily. Do I think that it is an absolutely terrible idea? Yes. And this is for a multitude of reasons. The first one being, it's not made by Santa Monica. And obviously Santa Monica were the ones who made all of the main God of War games, the ones who know how to make the main God of War games, and something tells me they wouldn't be caught dead trying to make a live service God of War game. The second reason is that it was being made by Bluepoint Games, who also have never done anything like what this game was gonna be. I mean, that's not to say that every studio can never make something different than what they've historically made, but again, is taking the studio that made Shadow of the Colossus and Demon's Souls and putting them to work on a live service God of War game really the best move? And the third and probably most obvious reason, it's not what the franchise needs. Once again, I'll put it out there. I would not be 100% opposed to the idea of a live service God of War game. But the problem is, I'd only not be opposed to it if it was done right. And I really don't think it would be done right. I think it could be done right, but it would be so difficult to get it done right that it just wouldn't be worth it. Not to mention, I'm a lot more lenient and accepting than a lot of gamers are, and surely to God, when PlayStation greenlit this to start being developed, again, we basically know nothing about this. We have no details as to when the game was going to take place, like within the timeline, whether it was going to be during the Greece days or the Norse days. We don't know how long it's been in development for or when it was going to be released. All we know is that it was going to be a thing and it isn't anymore, which all things considered, I really do think is is a blessed relief, because it proves that at least one of the higher-ups at PlayStation has a single brain cell in their head for them to realize that this is a very, very bad idea. Because even if the game ended up being even decent, I think it would be absolutely battered into the ground by the community. Because as I said, I'm a lot more lenient than other people are, and I think that the community would absolutely hate this. But I would like to make the point that a lot of people are seemingly going, like, how the hell did this even get greenlit in the first place? Especially considering everything that's been going on with, like, Concord, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and Marvel's Avengers, and all of those games like that. Well, you've got to consider that back when this was greenlit, whenever that was, all of these live service disasters hadn't actually happened yet. That's the thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand, is that a lot of these live service games that people are going like, oh my god, how did these get made in this day and age where, you know, everyone hates live service games and they always do terribly. Most of these live service games have been being developed for years, and seemingly now developers are starting to see that everyone really isn't a fan of live service games. Well, it's not even that we're not that big a fan of them, it's just that we've had so many that have been utter disasters that we're sort of sick of them. And we're sick of them obviously because every company on earth is trying to make one nowadays. And it seems as though certain studios and publishers are starting to go, maybe it's not worth the risk. And frankly, I think that's good, because that sort of scares publishers away from just making a live service game of fucking everything, when live service only works when you actually try and make a game and not a money grab. And I think the major problem is that these publishers who just tell these studios to go off and make a dozen live service games don't understand that making a successful live service game is way more difficult than making a successful game of any other genre. Reason being, live service games basically require you to play constantly. Using Fortnite as the golden example of one of the only live service games which is actually good, obviously each season you have a battle pass, and in that season, to earn the rewards, you have to complete challenges. And that season only lasts for like 2 months, 3 months. So during that time, if you want all the rewards, you have to play a lot. So what publishers don't understand is that in order to make a successful live service game that is dependent on microtransactions, they have to essentially steal players from other live service games. It's not like a single player story game like God of War Ragnarok that you can just pick up and play whenever you want. In order to be successful, a live service game has to have a constant player base. And if a live service God of War game got made, I really don't think it would be successful. Mainly because the God of War people probably wouldn't be interested in it, because the God of War games are just the complete polar opposite of everything that a live service game is. And the live service gamers probably wouldn't want to play it either. I mean, I don't know that that would be the case, obviously, but we're never gonna know anyway. And it is obviously a shame that Bluepoint have been working on this for however long and now it's been cancelled. But again, this is a good sign for the gaming industry going forward, because obviously God of War is a big name in the gaming community. And considering how many publishers have been trying to force out live service games just for the sake of being money grabs, if PlayStation is putting their foot down and going, hold up, this is actually a bad idea, let's not risk this, then hopefully that's a good sign and other publishers may actually start doing the same. Because I truly believe that if you try and make a good live service game, you can do it. But the problem is, like I said, I don't think the publishers realize how much they're competing with every other live service game that has ever been made. So yeah, I really don't think there's much else to say. I am glad that this has been cancelled, because hopefully this sort of shows us that PlayStation, you know, they're not completely stupid, because I think it shows that PlayStation are hopefully starting to learn from their mistakes. Concord! And we're hopefully not going to see as many pointless live service games as we probably would have done in the future. So, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and go join the casual Discord if you don't want to miss any future videos or live streams that I'm doing. And again, join me every Wednesday at 8 PM GMT for my God of War Ragnarok streams. Like I said, we're doing the final quest this week, but I'll be continuing on after that, doing all of the side quests, and then eventually Valhalla. No spoilers, obviously, because I haven't played it yet. But again, thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I will see you on another video or stream very, very soon. Goodbye, everyone.